Hey everybody, it's Tim with Broken Dice bringing a quick little channel update. I'm not sure how quick this one's going to be because I got a lot of things I want to cover with this. I got two small units of some Roman cavalry done for my early Republican Romans. First up, this little group of guys. And they come out alright. They're the Warlord Games, they're the medals. And they're not the best of sculpts by far, but you have to try just to do the best job you can with what you got. And I think they turned out all right. I think they turned out okay. So that's the first group. I do like them though. It's one of those things that, like, as you're working on a project that you're not quite sure of, sometimes you just got to finish it before you really, make any judgments about it. And here we go. Another unit. I love the transfers from Little Big Man Studios. Now, speaking of which, we'll talk about that in just a second. Obviously, these are more of the Warlord game medals. A lot of Vallejo paint, contrast paints, some P3s with some of the gray. P3, they're metallic. It's called pig iron. I like it for the mail. Transfers. Let's see, do I have them up here? Yes, I do. As most of you know, there's no exact transfer that I know of that fits the Warlord Games Metal Cavalry. So what I had to do was I had to kind of finagle the Victrix ones onto these guys. And what you'll find out if you find yourself in this position where the transfer is bigger than the actual shield, you'll have a lot of the decal hanging out over it. So you got two choices. You can trim it off to the exact size. Good luck. Or you can leave it. And what I've done with these guys, and I'm going to bring these guys up a little closer, and so you can see what I've done is, and you can see a little bit on the edge here. I've taken them and I line them up, and then I fold carefully, especially if you've already got your shield glued to your model. I would suggest a hobby knife or one of these little putty tools, and you just take it and you just slowly work that around the edge of the shield. Up close, you can still see a little bit of the rough edge, but I think that's all right because these guys are going to be on the table being used, and I think it turns out all right. It's one of those little extra steps that becomes a little fiddly, a little aggravating to get done, but in the long run, I think it pays off. Now, these two units here on their bases, I can take those bases and put them together and make it one standard size unit if I choose to do so. These are basically Hail Caesar, but they're on individual bases. So if I want to, I can bring them off, and they're my standard magnetized to the base anyway. So funny is, like, I magnetize them, and I still wound up dropping a guy just before I put this video on. Busted off the shield, busted off the spear. Like, oh, you got to be kidding me. But yeah, that sort of stuff happens. You handle them enough, you're going to break something. Okay, and those guys are fun. All right. Then I added a couple of commander models. Because with your Romans, you just can't have too many commanders. Okay. Yeah, these guys are fun. I mean, I do like these some of these sculpts from Warlord. I mean, especially their commander models. I really enjoy those. some of their metal troops, kind of on the slight side now. I don't like sometimes where you get a manufacturer that's almost getting into that what they call it, hero scale, where it's a much more larger, more robust model. I like them to be a little bit more human looking, normal human, not your steroided out, great big muscular guy. But these guys I like. Just a simple command model. I mean, sometimes you just got to have those extra guys on the table. This guy I like. Yeah. Then what I've done is I finished up another 54 millimeter model. Again, this is one of my side little pet projects that I like to do, and I think that's good for everybody, that you need with your hobby to try to find something on the side that kind of distracts you from your big project painting and stuff like that. Very important, I think. Kind of refreshes the mind, gets you off. Some people like to do a completely different time period. I'm just doing a different scale. Does help me look at some things that at this scale that I was kind of missing on the 28 millimeter. And for an example, let me get this guy right here. He's on the end. Okay, you see the mail on this guy on the cavalry model. What I try to do, what I've done in the past is I'm kind of a little sloppy with the wash. I like my guys to look dirty and unkept and in campaign mode. But what I found was, as I was doing that, a lot of time, especially if you have lighter color like tunics, some uniforms that you kind of they want to pop a little bit more. And so I'm trying to work on not being so sloppy with my wash. And I really started paying attention to that in these 54 millimeter models. And so this unit here is 28 was kind of the first time I really took real care about, like I used a red wash for their capes and stuff. And then on the little plumes, I used a red wash. And then instead of just doing the whole model in like either a sepia or a nun oil or whatever wash you want to use, I'm beginning to use specific washes on specific colors. Like on this model here, the big 54 millimeter model, it's got a blue wash on it. It's got a nun oil on the chainmail. It's got a sepia wash on a lot of the brown and the red has its own little red wash I put on it. So on this model here, it has 4 different washes on it, which to me is like I'm really expanding what I was doing last year, which is kind of nice. That's what I've been up to this week. Next up on the table will be some more Roman cavalry, and some of these. Let's not drop all of them. We're going to be working on some of these machines of destruction for the Roman Romans. My Caesarean Romans, which is my favorite type of time period. Caesareans and then earlier. When the Romans, it's the way I am with any kind of time period. When I'm doing wargaming and stuff, if I get to a time period in which one side has such a distinctive advantage over the other, especially historically, it really takes the fun out of the game for me, especially if you're trying to balance it out to where it's kind of historically correct. It's like late World War II. I mean, the Germans had no air power and stuff like that. And it's like when I get up to the point like the American Civil War, then later, the amount of carnage that can be done, where the weapons are so much better at killing at distance, tends to lose a little bit of its allure for me personally. I know a lot of people love those time periods, and kudos. Matter of fact, I'm venturing off into a little Flames of War project right now. But it'll be early war. I do like it where things are balanced. I hate the idea of like, well, all I have to do is bring my air power and the game gets skewed and stuff like that. I don't enjoy those sorts of things. That's it for me. A little longer video than what I thought I'd be making, but especially for no more of the units than I actually got done. But I did them, I thought, better than what I thought I was going to do, because I spent a little bit more time, like I said, with the different washes, trying to figure out how I'm going to use some shield transfers that are not exactly shield transfers for these guys. Oh yeah, by the way, on that, I want to go back to this for just a second. You see where the boss is on this? It's a different kind of boss than what's on the model. So if you're going to do this, if you're going to copy what I've done here, you're going to have to take your metallic, whatever you're doing your boss in, it needs to be expanded out into a square. So when you've cut this decal out with all its little, triangular notches in it, you'll have some of that metallic behind it, and it won't be so garish. Other than that, I'm done. Been a productive week, not so much in numbers of models, but in, I think, discovering a little bit more quality in my work. Everybody stay safe, everybody stay well, and I'll see you next time.